give your life a sense. What I think is not going to happen is that you will sit at home, meditate, or do whatever type of practice, and suddenly a sense of life comes flying. You find your place in this world and at the same time give your sense a life.
Just a quick interruption for the video, guys. As many of you know, we are independent creators and filmmakers, but there is a massive attack on us right now. Traditional media over the last few years has started to slowly die. They are no longer the independent voice that you first thought they were. That's why we've created Mulligan Brothers Patreon. We've built something special for our most dedicated supporters, and I want to break it down for you real quick. The supporter tier gets you ad-free early access to both video and audio versions of Mulligan Brothers interviews 24 hours before it goes public. The executive tier gets you everything that a supporter tier gets, plus more. Exclusive interviews and behind the scenes content, walk and talks, daily routines, unreleased interviews, the stuff that you don't see anywhere else. And finally, the executive producer tier. Everything from the supporter tier and the executive tier, plus exclusive perks. Access to our treatment packages. Be the first to see which guests are coming up and get insight into the topics we'll be discussing before anyone else. And you'll even get an executive producer credit on every single documentary that we make. So if you've ever wanted to support the Mulligan Brothers mission of inspiring change so we can go around the world and get these stories that nobody else will, this is exactly how you do it. Go to patreon.com/Mulligan Brothers or click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. Join the community and help us inspire change. Let's dive back into the video.
What is the meaning of life?
I think this question everybody personally has to answer for himself. What I think is not going to happen is that you will sit at home, meditate, or do whatever type of practice, and suddenly a sense of life comes flying or pops up and you are going to grab it in any type of way. This is not going to happen. What I think this question relates to is, instead of waiting for something to come that you think is purposeful to live for, I rather prefer and would say that you find your place in this world and at the same time give your sense a life. Yeah? Give your life a sense. I mean, fill up your daily hours that you have available, fill them up with something that you think this is worth living for, this is worth waking up for. So in that sense, what's the sense of life? It can be from all of us 8 billion people. Everybody can have a separate one. So I do not believe that there is like one answer where you would say to have a family is the sense of life. For some people, definitely. In the moment where they have newborn child, when they start to grow in the family, this is sometimes their purpose and they feel fulfillment. For other people, maybe it could be to build up a successful business. This can be something that is the main motivation, the main driver to keep somebody going and having this feeling to, I like to wake up and spend these hours that I have in front of me to do something. So give your life a sense. I would say this would bring it straight to the point.
The next one, which we spoke about a lot last time, we spoke about the word fear. But how do you overcome fear?
Before I answer this question, how to overcome fear, I maybe have to just say what type of structure, what type of guideline I sometimes start to, let's say, share with people how to approach something that either gives you a positive emotion or that gives you a negative emotion. Regardless, we are dealing right now with that state. So either it is something which is maybe uplifting, but at the same time, it can also be something which, in terms of fear, is more or less closing something inside of you. And I think in one of these TEDx talks, I mentioned it already, that there is the method which is quite easy to remember, which is called RAIN. Yeah, R-A-I-N. So the R is standing for recognize. Whatever emotional state comes up, happiness, sadness, fear, depression, jealousy, RAIN. Number R, recognize. recognize first of all, what type of feeling is it that's coming up? That is the number R. The A is standing for acknowledge or accept. What it means is, if you are afraid, if there is fear, if there is jealousy, if there is anger, if there is something and you realize it about yourself, number one is you accept it. You say, yes, okay, at this moment I feel really angry. Yeah, I feel really sad. I feel the fear which is coming up. So that acknowledgement, meaning you try to stop yourself from trying to separate it. Because you can only adjust something if it is a part of you. That is a very important idea, also in the martial arts. Only if I have a connection with you, I can change something about you. Only if I have a connection to my emotion, to my state, only then I can change it. This is why that word A, that acknowledgement or that acceptance, is something which is like really important. Then the number or the I is standing for investigation. Investigation means you recognize it, you accepted it, and now you investigate. Investigate can mean you ask the questions a detective would ask you. Why? Why is it coming up? Because of what did it come up? What did it trigger? Could it be that there is something in the past that now led to the fact that it's coming up inside of you? So it's all this type of questions, investigation. Investigation about that field of emotion that came up there. And the last one now, the N, is normally standing in Buddhist terms for non-identification. So non-identification means, this is now probably a little bit difficult to put in words, but I try still. If we go to the cinema and you watch an action movie, then you can see on the screen, you have on the screen the action images. Sometimes you go to the cinema, but on the screen you have a horror movie. So on the screen are running different images. But all these images are only possible to be seen because the background of the action movie and of the horror movie is the screen. If you take the screen away, it doesn't matter what image you are projecting, there is nothing that's able to project it. So that screen is the same like in the Chinese or in the Asian ways. We sometimes say the clouds, they are like the thoughts. But the thoughts, they can only appear, or the clouds can only appear because the underlying big is the sky. So there are the clouds within the sky. There are the images of the movie on the screen. And there are the emotions that come up on behalf of your perception that is existing. So that means what you have, what we all have, is we are able to perceive. And some people, based on something that is triggering them, sometimes they perceive the anger coming up. They perceive the sadness is coming up. So these emotional states, they can be perceived. If they can be perceived, then it means they are not you. Because you are the one who sees them. And non-identification means that you can witness for yourself that these things are like clouds that sometimes pop up in the sky. And just like every cloud ever on this earth, neither of these clouds ever stayed. It's only sometimes a sequence, an episode within your lifetime. And this idea of non-identification is something that is relating into this direction. Yeah, meaning that you understand that you see why this fear came up, with what it is related to, and ultimately also see that there is no substance to it.